fog, but mainly dry and bright with some sunshine. Temperatures range from 7 to 10 degrees. Starts to turn very windy, though, later on Wednesday through Wednesday night. Could see gusts up to 75 miles an hour across the north and the west of Scotland. So Met Office do have a minor yellow warning in force there. The wet, windy weather moves away from the north of Scotland. Further south, it stays fine and settled closer to that area of high pressure. And you notice the orange colours starting to move in towards the end of the week. So once we lose the wet, windy weather for Thursday and Friday across the north of the UK, most places will be dry. Because of high pressure, it turns milder towards the end of the week. That's it. Have a lovely evening, Sophie.
Steph, thank you. And that's it from the BBC News at 6. I'll be back here at 10, though, with all the latest on those 2 earthquakes in Turkey and Syria and the rescue operation that continues tonight. From the 6 team, it's goodbye. The news, though, continues on BBC One. It's time to join our colleagues across the nations and regions for the news where you are. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, Sophie. Hello there. Welcome to BBC Channel Islands. I'm Charlie McArdle. Our top story tonight. The Chief Minister admits it's not her finest hour, while backbenchers have called it an omni-shambles. Deputy Philip Oziff has resigned as Minister for Financial Services after the latest in a series of summons to Petty Debts Court, cases which he describes as oversights in the administration of his personal affairs. The Chief Minister last week dismissed them as a private matter, but has now said ministers must uphold the highest standards in all aspects of their lives. Our political reporter Freddie Miller has been following the developments.
Upended by a U-turn, Jersey's Chief Minister accepts her political honeymoon is over.
It's not perhaps my finest hour, but I think that we have now taken action and we're dealing with the situation and we have a way forward, and I think we will be stronger for it.
I understand you're saying you took quick action, but this was the 3rd time he'd been called to the Petty Debts Court.
I can't go into personal circumstances, of course, but there were reasons for that, and at the time I felt that they were reasonable, but of course on reflection we have both agreed that in this scenario it is best to take the action that we have agreed.
Deputy Oziff was only given permanent political responsibility for financial services and all who work in these buildings in late January, and just days ago the Chief Minister defended him, describing his Petty Debts Court case as a private matter. But after that statement sparked a fair bit of public comment, Deputy Moore appears to have had a change of heart. She now says ministers must uphold and be seen to uphold the highest standards in all aspects of their lives.
It's an omni-shambles. There's issues like this when they arise, they help break trust in politics, whether that's the government or the states as a whole, and that's not good for the island and it's not good for our economy. The Chief Minister has U-turned twice in the space of a fortnight. That's embarrassing, and the statement which she has put out leaves many questions unanswered.
Of course, Deputy Oziff is no stranger to political controversy.
I made a genuine mistake. I've apologised for that.
Despite this weekend's decision, he'll remain as External Relations Minister. But if he worked in the industry he's been responsible for, the situation could have been more serious. Under local law, the regulator has the power to stop individuals working in finance if information about their financial standing causes it to believe they're not a fit and proper person to be registered. It's important to note the details of Deputy Oziff's latest case and whether he disputes it have not been made public, but sources have confirmed a debt judgment could threaten the career of a finance worker. After taking action, the Chief Minister is hoping to draw a line under this issue, and for now at least, the revolving doors of government remain static. But in politics, perception matters, and few would argue that this is a good look.
Well, as you can see, our political reporter Freddie Miller joins me now. So, Freddie, this comes on the back of what is going to be a very big year for Jersey's financial service industry.
Yes, indeed. There's a big inspection taking place later this year called a money val assessment, and officials have been preparing for it
for months and months and months and months. It's going to see independent reviewers coming to the island to look at Jersey's laws and processes, everything that's done here to combat money laundering and also to combat the financing of terrorism, to ensure that Jersey meets international standards. Now, as you can perhaps imagine, the minister responsible for financial services is going to play a big part in that work. And it's fair to say that concerns about that upcoming assessment and any potential damage to Jersey's reputation have played a part in the Chief Minister's thinking in recent days. But some are now asking about Deputy Moore's professional judgment in giving Deputy Joseph the job in the first place, and whether she's allowed their long-standing friendship to cloud that judgment. I think we can expect plenty more questions about this issue when politicians meet in the States Chamber tomorrow morning.
Freddie, thank you very much for your analysis. Meanwhile, Jersey's government spent almost £60 million in a year on specialist and agency staff, a 26% increase since the last report. The money was spent between July 2021 and last summer, mostly on consultants, followed by temporary labourers and short-term contractors. The government says the pandemic affected its ability to attract full-term staff into specific roles. A group representing Guernsey's hospitality businesses has called for a board that manages tourism to be suspended. In a letter to States members, the Guernsey Hospitality Association asks for the newly formed Tourism Management Board to be halted. It questions their independence and says there's a better way to promote the holiday sector.
The path must be clear. Absolutely clear for our industry, and we'll get behind it 100%. What we can't have is a private fiefdom that is going nowhere, managing decline, and we will become, which we're already on our way to, a destination backwater. And don't forget, we represent in our group over £200 million worth of real estate, and we are really, really worried.
Well, in response, the politician responsible, Deputy Neil Inder, says he's disappointed the Guernsey Hospitality Association is not engaging with the new independent and industry-led Tourism Management Board, describing it as a missed opportunity. Now, next tonight, many of us dream of travelling the world, and it could become a reality for one man from Guernsey whose family and friends have rallied around after he suffered life-changing injuries. 24-year-old Connor Bays fell 15 feet off a wall while walking home from a night out. Supporters have raised thousands of pounds for extra treatment that could help him fulfil his dreams. Charlie Lanuri has the story.
This is Connor just a year ago, spending time with friends, enjoying sports including football and skating. But his fall on the way home from a night out in St Peter Port changed that life.
Must have landed on my neck and broke my C5, C6 and then pinched my spinal cord, which has resulted in me to be paralysed from the chest down. I was there maybe half an hour before someone found me. And they were just walking the same route as I was. I'm so lucky that they were, because I might not be here if they hadn't.
Connor has been in hospital for more than 6 months. He'll use the £8,000 raised by family and friends on intense physiotherapy in the UK.
My goal eventually is to be able to go travelling. I want to go to Southeast Asia and South America. Places like Southeast Asia, they don't have many accessible hotels and things with hoists. So being able to transfer myself would allow me to go and fulfil my dream of being able to travel the world, really.
Despite his life-changing injuries, Connor is staying positive.
I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult than what it was, but I think because of the support system I've got around me, they've made it a million times easier. But all my friends, family, even new friends that I've met in Salisbury that were in a similar situation to me, we kind of all got together and helped each other. I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but there's the bigger picture of it all. Like, I don't worry about half the stuff that I used to before.
Good luck for the future there, Connor. Now we'll take a brief look at some of the day's other news stories. And university students from Jersey are to get more money towards their living costs. The government's increasing maintenance grants by 3.8% from September, the third rise announced in response to the cost of living crisis. Two Jersey rowers have arrived in Antigua after rowing across the Atlantic. Steve Hayes and Peter Wright completed the trip in 54 days, overcoming bad weather and mechanical problems. As well as being a personal challenge, they raised money for wildlife and cancer charities. And volunteers removed invasive plants and did a crab survey to mark World Wetlands Day in Herm. Organisers say it'll help preserve biodiversity at sites recognised for their environmental importance. Well, it's certainly been a long time coming, but for the hundreds who turned out for the opening of Jersey's new skate park, it certainly was well worth the wait. The £2 million facility at Le Quennevay aims to offer something for urban sports enthusiasts of all ages and abilities.
It's happened. Look at it. It's here. We've done it. Come on!
So this skate park has been designed to cater for different urban sports, different ages, different abilities, and I think that we're seeing it now.
So we've got the bowl here, shallow end over there, deep end through here. We've got a vertical section on that, ledges, banks, manual pads, a big stair set with the rail and the harbour ledges. This is try and replicate those sort of authentic street obstacles that skaters skate in the street.
There have been hurdles along the way, but I think by government and community working together, they've overcome them.
We had large political support from the beginning, which was what made the difference. Before, we've not had that. This time we were like, well, let's work with government. Let's work with them and work out how this gets done. So we had to have a cultural shift in our own minds to make the difference, so we can sit down around people and instead of going, oh, they're just another bloke in a hoodie, they kind of looked at us and went, oh, you guys aren't as daft as we thought.
Lots and lots of work, but it hasn't been hard work, to tell you the truth. Everyone that's been around to support us, all the passion that they've got, you look around today and you think, you know, it's all worth it.
I mean, I always knew something was coming, but I never expected anything this good. I was the first person to drop in on the deep end of the bowl, I'm pretty sure, so pretty proud of that. Everyone's going to progress so much, and I think there's going to be competitions and stuff. It's just going to be so amazing for the community in Jersey.
There's teachers here that I see, there's lawyers, you know, there's a guy from a finance house with a skateboard. Different ages, different colours, creeds, everyone here, but everyone's welcome. Whether you come up here and have a sandwich, you come up here and watch people, the whole point is that it's a park, it's a public space, it belongs to everybody.
With a facility like this, you know, I hope that we'll see all these sports and activities grow and grow.
There absolutely is future plans for skating, so there's a further 1.25 million allocated in the government plan for investment in urban sports over the next few years. The first focus of that is going to be a feasibility study for a town skate park. When you see it packed today with all these people, I mean, who could say that it's not worth the money?
I mean, I think if you get a healthy mind, a healthy body, you certainly got a healthy child growing up. And that's what we're here to do. It really is a pleasure to be here. Might be in the Olympic Games one day, might it?
Yeah, I'm going to be here every day. I'll maybe take 1 or 2 breaks for homework in the week and just bash it all out in a day.
It's been a long time coming, and still part of me doesn't believe that it's actually happened, but it has, and I am absolutely stoked.
I might even be tempted to get my roller skates out. Well, as you can see, David is here with your weather forecast. David, great weekend, plenty of sunshine today, loads of sunshine. I've got to admit, though, it was feeling a little bit chillier.
Yes, it's been quite cold, and we've got another cold night in front of us. Glorious sunrise and sunset today, and tomorrow we'll have very similar weather. Could be a bit frosty in places early in the day, then fine and dry, with again plenty of sunshine to look forward to. It's high pressure. It's with us for the next 24 hours. It's a thin strip of high pressure, but it connects back to another area of high pressure out here in the middle of the Atlantic. Those two combined will keep most of the weather fronts way to the north of us over the next 2 days. This is Wednesday, very little change. But by the time we get into Thursday, this weather front's getting a little bit closer, close enough, in fact, to produce a lot more cloud and potentially the odd light shower out of that cloud too. But rainfall amounts are likely to be small. And by the time we get back into the weekend, that high pressure comes back. But with clear skies tonight, it is going to turn quite cold. Overnight temperatures, typically for most of us 3 or 4, A few locations inland could be as low as 2, so there is a risk of a frost first thing tomorrow. But it's a nice day with plenty of sunshine, just a bit of cloud floating past from time to time. Winds are from the east or northeast, and we'll have a maximum temperature between 7 and 9 degrees. These are our times of high water. St Peter Port, that's at 7:38 in the morning. St Helier, 7:27. And the coastal waters forecast, the winds from the east or the northeast, force 3 to 4, mainly fair with good visibility. Also, by the way, there's some quite good surfing conditions to be had. I know the sea surface temperature is pretty low, but there are some potentially quite nice surfing conditions, both for tomorrow but also for Wednesday. As for the rest of this week, the weather front coming in on Thursday will cloud the skies, help lift the temperatures a little bit, but it does introduce thick enough cloud for a few spits of light rain or drizzle, but gone by the time we get to Friday and into the weekend, and more of the same as we go into the weekend too, with a lot of fine weather, plenty of sunshine and generally light winds. Next week it starts to change. Southwest winds will bring more cloud and perhaps also bring a higher temperature. Have a nice evening. Charlie.
Mostly dry week. Thank you very much, David. And that is it for the time being. Just a quick reminder, of course, for the very latest from the Channel Islands, you can always head to the BBC News website where you'll find your local page. In the meantime, though, don't forget, you can catch me with our late bulletin at 10:30. From me and the rest of the team for now, bye-bye.
The Cornwall-based disaster relief charity Shelterbox says it's preparing to send a team to Turkey following the earthquakes that have left thousands dead, both there and in Syria. The charity provides tents and shelter kits and says a final decision on sending help will be made tomorrow. Here's Kirk England.